Greetings again, everybody. Welcome back to Demon's Crest. Last time we got a password, so let's demo the password system. Only we speed it up because we don't really have to see that. Now, the annoying part about entering passwords is that while you do start with all the key items intact, you lose all the money and all the potions and all the spells you're carrying. And first thing we notice now in the world map is that there's one new location. Now, we could go to all the other locations as well. The bosses would be alive again, so we could actually explore the areas again, all over, if we wished. But we also have everything we had before, plus a new gargoyle form. The ultimate gargoyle looks exactly like the, well, legendary gargoyle, only purple. It can even do exactly the same things the legendary gargoyle could do, plus more, and we'll be seeing that. And apparently we are a hero now instead of a monster that everybody fears. But now I would need to grind for money now to get, well, potions, so we don't need to see this. Instead, let's just skip that part and head straight to that new area. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the nature of this area is, but it doesn't matter. Let's showcase the ultimate gargoyle. It can dash, it can swim, and its shot, much like the legendary gargoyle's shots, can actually destroy those little breakable blocks. Now, you might have already guessed it, but the gargoyle here can actually also ascend and headbutt, though you can only headbutt if you jump beforehand, because if you press the special ability button on the ground, you'll dash, but this isn't a problem at all. So yes, this is the Dark Demon. It's the true final boss of the game, and it's pretty hard, I would say. But the ability to tank a lot of his hits makes him manageable as well. You could do him, of course, dodging everything, but it would be really hard and take a really long while. And you could also do him with the armor instead of the fang. It would take a very long time. You don't want to do this now. Anyway, he has two forms basically, and he switches back and forth between the two. The other one is the floating skeleton pile thing, and this is the demon form. He has extended invulnerability frames, or rather, he sometimes decides to just flash black, and he's not vulnerable during that time. However, whenever he is fully visible, you can easily hit him, and it's much easier to hit him in this form than in any other form. Sometimes you'll even be able to get in quite a few hits, like right here. This is very good. This very rarely happens. In his other forms, I suppose the attacks are easier to dodge, but he's also harder to hit. And in case you didn't notice it, the walls and the floor and also the ceiling will gradually turn into spikes. So if you manage to, well, have this fight take long enough, you will actually not be able to stand anywhere or cling to any walls. And yes, whenever you see this purplish circle go into the Dark Demon, you'll want to stand right under him, because this waterfall of purple blood will otherwise damage you quite a bit. But it's easily avoided. And that's basically the fight. Much like Phalanx's final form, it's not exactly difficult in the sense that it provides a challenge, but it throws a lot of shit at you at the same time, which makes it hard. And if you don't really know that you can just tank quite a few hits to get in even more hits, well, you will have a rough time. However, we know exactly what to do to deal with that guy. Unfortunately, this fight drags on for quite a bit. It's even worse than the crawler fight because I think it assumes that you actually use potions, much like Phalanx's final form, which does the same thing. And if we were to assume that you're not supposed to actually use potions but do it without it, then those boss fights are such a significant rise in difficulty that it's not even funny. Because I never really managed to do it without healing myself. And I think that if you were to do it without healing yourself, it would take very long. But hey, look at this. We managed to beat the true final boss of the game. And now, let's just watch the true final ending. Oh, he had this power inside him all along. What a twist. Now for this ending part where we see all the bosses, there's actually a little bit extra if we view the true ending, because in addition to the bosses, we also see the gargoyles. All of them. Except for the ultimate one, but he doesn't count anyway, because he's, well, Firebrand's true form, I guess. But now I wanted to take this opportunity to actually talk a little bit about the game, because before doing this LP I haven't played it in quite a while. While I did play this game with my nostalgia goggles on, I can't deny that it has quite a few flaws. The most obvious one is of course that a lot of the items we find are actually useless. They showed up in the older Gargoyles Quest games, but in this game they're just kind of there and outclassed, sometimes even by the point you actually find them, which is a pity really. They could have just designed the game a little bit different to make these items useful, or remove them, or make them work differently, I suppose. There's quite a few ways to actually handle this without sacrificing content, probably. And well, the way the items work is pretty much the biggest flaw that I could notice with the game. Another one is, well, the endgame is kinda weak. You've seen it, the final few bosses are mostly done by just tanking it, that's the best strategy, otherwise you're in for a tough ride. And by tough ride I don't necessarily mean hard or challenging, I just mean 10 hours long. And you don't really want to do something in a video game that takes that long, unless it's really fun and not repetitive, which is what this would be. It's not like it was particularly interesting to just tank it. But here as well, there's a couple ways to design this differently to make it work better. But regardless, I still enjoyed the game, and yeah, even playing it again after such a long time, I really did enjoy it, and I also enjoyed making this LP. And I would like to thank you for sticking around for, well, the entire duration of this LP. Unless of course you just jumped into here for some reason maybe and skipped straight ahead to this part, in that case, fuck you. But anyway, Demon's Crest was actually the second game I LP'd twice, because I didn't really feel that it did do it justice the first time. The other game was Dark Souls, and that was a project with a much bigger scope, so I do hope to do something of this kind again, of that scale, but I'm not really sure when and what, so it's entirely in the stars. But yes, I think it's now time to wrap this up, and I hope that you found this LP worthwhile, and that you will also tune in whenever I LP something again. So, see you then, hopefully.